Good morning, everyone. I hope you have woken up feeling refreshed and recharged and ready to tackle a brand new day. Although I don't know why I actually open my videos by inviting you into the day when you could probably be watching this in the middle of the night. So whatever time of day it is, hello and welcome to episode number 34 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy 1 on the PlayStation 1. In our previous episode, we actually parted ways after we had handed over the rat's tail to Bahamut, the king of the dragons, across those various islands. And as you can see, just from looking at this save point and comparing it to the one that is actually most current, you can see that our characters have received a bit of a visual upgrade. So yes, in fact, we have elevated ourselves and had the ultimate glow up where we are now respectively a red wizard, master, I think is what Burl's called, white wizard, and then black wizard. We'll for sure confirm this when we hop in there. But everyone in my party has gone up to kind of their final / true form. We took a look at the stats. I told you guys I don't remember if it actually automatically converted stats to where we should be now with our new forms, or if we're just going to see an increased percentage based accrual moving forward. I don't really know how it's going to move forward with that, and it doesn't matter because we're actually in this episode going to open up by going to a new area. We're not really going to have too many fights, so it doesn't really matter if our stats are a specific at a specific point or not. So let's go ahead and dive in. I thought when we had parted ways, I was actually going to immediately just run onward to where we needed to go. And actually, before I say all this, let me just open back up because I don't know if it's been like a week between our last episode and this one or 2 weeks. I've got a whole lot of crud actually going on right now. So I'll try not to just assume that you guys just watched the episode prior to this one before, viewing this specific video. So for those of you who are joining me a week or two or who knows how long later, here is Rohit. He is a red wizard. Here is Burl. He is a master. We don't know exactly what kind of master. I don't want to consider him to be a baiter, but if he was a baiter, would that make him a master baiter? Okay, I'll stop. White wizard is what Melvin is called, and you guys can take a look at his stats. We've not changed any of the equipment when we came back here to Crescent Lake. It was just for the purpose of sleeping, saving, and restocking our potions. And then here's Tyrone, the black wizard. He's looking fresh, looking fine, and we are officially ready to head to a new part of the map. So what I was telling you guys right before we parted ways is here's where we're at right now. Obviously this is Crescent Lake, and I will show you we're actually wanting, this is probably a really ridiculous way of doing it. Okay, hold on guys. I swear I've got my stuff together. It's a little too early in the morning perhaps. We're gonna do it this way. We want to go up here, and I can't remember if I have to land over here or if I can go right beside it. So give me just a second. I normally like to cut this out so you guys aren't dealing with me running around. Oh, hold on. It might have been that simple. Yeah, okay. Well, this is why I say, I clearly don't always know what's going on. We're just going to take it in stride. Let's see if there are any new foes here before we head into town, because we're probably going to sleep and save. There's a desert Beretta. And we saw in our previous episode the Berettas for the very first time when we were finishing up exploring those islands. We really don't need to be using up the healing staff, but we'll do it anyway. It's not going to matter that much. I probably should have used the gauntlets on Tyrone, but whatever. I'll make sure I sleep up, get everyone looking fresh before we are done in this next town. Whatever. Come on. Come one, come all. Let's kick these desert Berettas' butts. Wow, 1 gil. Okay, so sort of a waste of our time, but not wholly a waste of our time because it was good for you guys to at least see the enemies that are here. Or at least one of them. Okay, so we are in a town that is called Gaia, and if you can guess as much, we are here to do a little bit of shopping because in our previous episode, we did backtrack to Crescent Lake. I don't know why I almost spaced the name of that town because I wanted to get Rohit some level 6 spells now that he is a red wizard. So Warp 2 is really the most important out of the abilities that I picked up there. You could, what am I doing? You could arguably swap out Maybe Stona. I wouldn't get rid of Invis, and it's kind of up to your play style if you want to get rid of Shield too. But now that Melvin, my white mage, was able to upgrade himself to a white wizard, he also gains access to Warp 2. I don't remember where Warp 1 is. I kind of talked about this aloud with you all. I have no idea where you can find that spell. I just do not remember, so, you know. If you want to go back and look for it, you can. I think Warp 2 is going to be fine. I don't even remember. Is there a Warp 1? Maybe there's not, and that might be why I don't remember where it is. But okay, enough of that. Let's talk to the inhabitants of this town called Gaia. And this one says, this is the town of Gaia, also known as Hawkeye. To the south lies another town. We call it Hawkwing, but we don't know its real name. Okay, so are you friendly with the folks that live there? What's going on? Have you gone to Hawkwing yet? Their language is total gibberish. Oh gosh, I'm not prepared for all of that. She says, whoa, what have we here? You fellers are outsiders, ain't ya? How the heck did you manage to climb way up here? Well, we did see that this town is kind of surrounded by mountains, so I guess it would throw everyone off. The castle in the west tests your courage and strength. My old man told me that. Old man, like your boyfriend or your father or your grandfather? I don't know how I feel about that title. There was a fairy living at the spring here, but I haven't seen her lately. Where has she gone? I don't know. Do we need to perhaps track her down? You guys, oh my gosh. The game loves catapulting you out of town, so don't follow my suit. Make sure you pay attention to the perceived outlines of the town. Okay. I already talked to you. It was the person that was over here. All right, ladies. I saw something bright flying across the sky to the west. I know I saw it. Well, we'll take a look at it. It can't be that bad. All right, first things first. Let's see if there is anything here in terms of weaponry that we can pick up. And there is something called cat claws. And yes, it is 65,000 gil. Quite a bit of money for this, but I think it is definitely worth it. I'm actually going to pick up one for Tyrone, but I will say if you are hard pressed for cash and you did not kind of put any emphasis on grinding like I did, you can always come back for this. It's not going to be the end of the world. But here are the stats for the cat claws relative to the mithril knife. We're going to see ourselves with an increase of 12 points to attack power. We're going from the 17 to the 29, and then we have an increase of 20 points for accuracy. I want to say these are the best, I think, don't hold me to this, I think these are the best offensive weapons for the Black Wizards. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there's going to be someone that will know a little bit more about that than me and be able to vocalize if there's something else that maybe arguably gives you different stats, and it's just kind of down to personal preference. But for my purposes, I feel like the cat claws get the job done. If you're unsure of whether you want your black mage to exclusively stand in the back just casting spells, or if occasionally they need to be doling out some punches, I think the cat claws are a really good weapon to go ahead and pick up. And they should be sort of your final pickup for your black mage / your black wizard. Anyway, we have two things over here in this armor shop. We've got Ruby Armlets as well as Protect Rings. Now, I honestly can't remember. These go on different things, don't they? I think they do, if I can remember what actual buttons to click. Because yeah, one is going to be armor and then one is going to be a glove. Okay. Let's buy one of each and just see. The Ruby Armlet says that it is a decorative armlet with a ruby inset. I will get one. I don't know if I'm going to have enough money for all of this. And we'll go ahead and grab a Protect Ring, which is a ring that guards against instant death, which actually is very nice because there are some enemies that you know love to cast that crap on you, and you really don't want to be caught with your pants down. I certainly don't want to be caught with my pants down. But okay, taking a look at the comparison between the Mithril Mail and the Ruby Armlet, we see that Rohit's defense is going to go up by 6 points from 22 to 28 defense. And then we are going to see an increase of 7 points to that evasive stat or evasion stat, going from 59 to 66. So we'll go ahead and throw the Ruby Armlet, and we will grab the Protect Ring to replace the leather gloves. And actually what I'm just going to go ahead and do, let's sell our extra garbage. We don't really need it, and I think I'm going to be a little close on money, which makes me kind of nervous. I probably actually don't need any of this, to be honest with you guys. I think we'll be fine. I was holding on to the mithril gloves and the gauntlets, but I think the mithril gloves can go. We'll get rid of the mithril sword, mithril hammer. We'll keep these swords that have really specific enemies that they're effective against, and whatever. I'll keep the gauntlets because they have a magic-based ability that we can tap into. So let's grab... It's saying that Burl has the equivalent of this Ruby Armlet, but I don't remember what's on him. So let's take a look together. I know, not the most... Oh, he does have a Ruby Armlet. I don't remember how he got that. I must have picked it up somewhere. We'll go ahead and grab a Protect Ring for him. Oh, I'm trying to be super hyper mindful of what I'm throwing onto people, because don't forget, we have spells that we need to be picking up too. So don't get carried away, but definitely buy what you think you can afford and what you think is going to maybe send your party like over the line of being not necessarily weak, but sort of on the struggle bus to being able to wipe the floor with the enemies that you encounter. Okay, defense going from 26 to 33. I will immediately sell what he had before, just so we have a little bit of extra. What did he have before? Oh, leather gloves. Oh my gosh, and they were only 30 gills. So actually nothing to get too excited about. We'll go ahead and just grab 2 of these ruby armlets. Oh, it's so expensive. And I'll go ahead and get 2 of the protect rings. It's going to be worth it. I think we're fine on cash. If I'm not, I am actually going to go back and do some some grinding, because I do think it is important to have a certain amount of money once you reach this point. But we'll get to that in a second. So the Ruby Armlet is going to increase Melvin's defense by 9 points from 17 to 26. And if we add the Protect Ring, he goes from 26 to 33 in terms of, what was that? His defense? Yes, it was. All right, Tyrone, you're up next. Ruby Armlet from 17 to 26. And the leather glove swapped out for that Protect Ring from defense 26 to defense 33. So we're all good to go here. And I will say, if you're really not too sure about what you want or how expensive things might be here, and if you're trying to just hold on to the money that you've got, you can opt to not buy those cat claws. They are absolutely, I think, almost too expensive. And if your black mage really is focusing on being more offensive with magic and kind of hiding out in the background, you don't need to worry about the offensive physical DPS that you're going to get from adding the cat claws. I just think they're really nice to go ahead and have, but it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, so here's what I do want. We've got access to level 7 spells. We have Cure 4. As you can see, these are only for the White Wizard, so Melvin is the only contender for the items here, or the spells here. Cure 4 fully restores HP. That's going to be really nice. And then Dia 4 inflicts 80 to 320 damage to undead foes. Cure 4, I think, is non-negotiable. You're going to want to pick this up. Dia 4, it's kind of up for grabsies what you want to do. I'm just going to grab it, and as you can see, I'm already capped out in terms of my gills, so I'm not going to be able to afford anything else that's here, but that's okay, because what I will probably do is run out and do a little bit of shopping. So I do want to quickly, though, show you some of the spells that are here. The black mage, or I guess black magic spells. We've got Ice 3, which inflicts 70 to 280 ice damage, and then we have Break, which petrifies a foe. I don't know about Break. I don't recall it being that effective. I'll still go ahead and get it for Tyrone, but we are going to want Ice 3 on both Rohit as well as Tyrone. So give me just a little bit. I'm not going to go ahead and end the episode. I'd rather just keep all of our shopping isolated to one video. So just give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to run back somewhere, do a bit of grinding, and then I will return with as much money as I could possibly amass in as short of an amount of time. So I'll see you guys here in just a second. I did want to go ahead and just show you that I am here in the ice cavern / ice cave, and I am just repeatedly, I guess, antagonizing the evil eye here. I'm killing him, stepping off his little spot or tile here in this room and then stepping back onto it. I'll just show you a couple of fights. As you can see, it's very easy, and I get 3,225 gil every single time I end up starting this encounter. So I think this is a really quick and effective way for us to go ahead and just get all of the gil that we're going to need. I'll spend a considerable amount of time here, to be honest with you guys, because we do need a bit of gold to go ahead and finish up all of the upgrades that we'll need in Gaia. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to bring you guys back so that you could get a nice little glimpse of this. You absolutely do not have to come back here to the ice cave if you think it's a bit of a pain in the butt to navigate all the way through here, because don't forget, once you get into this room, you have to fall through one of the tiles back to that one floor and then run your happy little buns all the way back up. So it is a bit of a pain in the butt, but once you get here, you can just stay here for like 20 minutes and get a considerable chunk of cash. So if you're like me and you're at the point in the game where you really need to just kind of focus on getting the bag so that you can afford all of the upgrades, then I think it's worth it. For those of you that don't care as much about all of the upgrades, then you can go ahead and skip out on this. But like I said, I wanted to bring you back super duper quickly just so that you can see me starting these fights with him. Very easy. I'm truly just stepping to the left and then back to the right, or stepping to the right and then back to the left, while tapping into my healing staff to go ahead and just continuously be bringing up my party's HP a little bit. And keep in mind, because we did go ahead and pick up, I think it was the protect rings that actually grant us immunity to sudden death or instant death. I want to say that's what it is. Hold on. Let me look just so I can make sure I'm conveying accurate information here. I think that's it, right? Yes, it is the protect ring that guards against instant death. And if you do recall, it is this evil eye that can cast that gaze effect that can occasionally, provide instant death, but that makes it sound like it's a service that we're looking for, and it's absolutely not. So if you're not interested in having anyone in your party die instantly, I would recommend grabbing those protect rings before you come back here to farm. But either way you slice it, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because your white mage at this point should have a way to bring your party back, even if you did decide to do a little bit of the farming more proactively than I've done, and then you end up in Gaia with a bigger chunk of cash than I did. But okay, that's enough. Oh, and Burl did get a level. We'll just take a look at the stats here together since you're here. 35 HP, some agility, some endurance, and while I'm thinking about it, Melvin as well as Rohit, I want to say, got levels. So everyone is now at level 20. Well, no, Burl's at level 28, and that means Tyrone's not very far from 28 himself. But okay, that's it for me. Give me a second, and I'll bring you guys back in Gaia, and we'll finish shopping together. So 1 second, my friends. Howdy, friends. Welcome back. Okay, so I did quite a bit of grinding with that evil eye to amass now 246,752 gil. This should be more than enough for everything that we need to be picking up here. But before we continue our shopping spree, I did want to show you that everyone is an even level 28. And I will allow you guys, if you want, you can go ahead and just pause the camera to see where all of our stats are at. So here's Rohit's page. Here is Burl. He is looking great, and oh my gosh, you guys, he packs a punch, and he's pretty close to hitting level 29 at that. We've also got Melvin, who is looking fabuloso, and last but certainly not least, we do have Tyrone, who also will be hitting level 29 relatively quickly. Not in this episode. We're going to devote the last couple of minutes to shopping here in Gaia, but when we do come back together in our upcoming episode number 35, we should have a little bit more action. But let's go ahead and wrap all of this up. We want to go ahead and grab Ice 3 for both Rohit and for Tyrone for 45,000. Oh my gosh. Gil a piece, but this is going to be absolutely worth it in the long run, so I would recommend grabbing this if you can. We'll also go ahead and pick up Break. I don't know if it's the absolute best ability in the game, but it's probably worth it for us to just go ahead and grab it. And I spent all that time grinding, so yeah, no, we better have something to show for that amount of time that I dedicated to that. So we got a couple of things here. I'll worry about saving myself. We looked at all of that. We talked to everyone along this row. Let's just see what this broom has to say. Busy, busy, busy. That broom sure is good at making itself look busy. Okay. Are you a witch? What are you, ma'am? I don't really know. Game, why do you play so much? I don't know why every single town has like 20,000 exits, but that's okay. I guess it keeps us on our toes, does it not? There's a tower in the Yanukulum Desert that no one can enter. Since no one can enter it, we all figured it might be a mirage. We now call it the Tower of Mirage, but I wonder if it really is a mirage. Well, perhaps we'll figure that out eventually. Let's just go and chat up this fella over here who says, the legends say that ancient sky people could soar into the sky and build castles above the clouds. Oh, that sounds wonderful. It'd be nice to fly. You guys again, busy, busy, busy. That broom sure is good at making itself look busy. We already looked at that. We're not running over this way yet because that takes us out of town, I think. Well, that leads us somewhere, but we'll hold off on that. The spring in this town bears oxy ale, but only fairies can collect it. Oxy ale? Related to oxygen, perhaps? Well, we're not going to worry about it yet. What we are going to worry about is the fact that there are 2 more spell shops, and this is going to be a mess. Oh my gosh, we have access to level 8 abilities now. Which... now I'm thinking maybe I should have stayed there for a little bit longer. But I really didn't want to. So we've got Stop. Stop's time for foes, immobilizing them. Banish sends foes to another dimension. And Doom, which instantly kills a foe. I think Stop and Banish are going to be the ones to really get here. Well, I can't even afford them. Okay, so I was a loser and did not get as much gil as I actually needed. Let's end this episode with us just looking at the descriptions for spells, and when we come back together in our upcoming episode, I'm just going to do the shopping without you guys. I forgot how expensive the level 8 spells were going to be, so that is 100% my bad, but it's really not the end of the world. I'll just go back to the ice cavern and do what I just did with you all in tow. So we've also got Holy, damages foes with Divine Light. We'll definitely want to grab that. Null All reduces all spell damage by 50%. I actually think this is pretty good. So you don't have to worry about having like Null Ice or Null Fire or whatever. This just kind of is a good all-encompassing spell to buff up your party. So I really do like Null All. I won't talk too much crap about it. And Dispel obliterates a foe's magical defenses, which should be fine. So I'm going to plan... I need to probably get at least 300,000 to just feel like I'm in a good place. So I will catch up with you guys here in just a little bit. I'm going to do the shopping as stated, and then when we resume in our upcoming episode number 35 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy 1, we will be done with all of the boring stuff here in town, and we will be ready to actually advance the plot. I will go ahead and give you guys the heads up that regardless of whether you are wanting to buy any of these spells or any of the equipment that I did pick up, so you know, like all of those protect rings, all of those ruby armlets, regardless of what you are wanting to upgrade your team with, you want to make sure you have, I think it's 50,000, maybe it's 60,000, but I'm going to just go on a limb and say it's 50,000 gil to your name, because we're going to need it to actually move forward with the next project or the next quest, if you will, in the story. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back together in our upcoming episode. But until then, friends, take care, be good, and I, your host, Rabbit, will see you here in just 1 second. Thank you for watching.